Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again. As always, I just want to expand slightly, guys, on something that I put in my community tab earlier this afternoon when I was telling you all that Birmingham are closing down their Christmas markets this year through safety concerns, which, when you look at it objectively, really isn't that much of a big surprise when you take into consideration how much of a pit Birmingham actually is. A huge city in the UK, a once important city once upon a time, especially during the war efforts in World War I and II. A huge city that has been touched concurrently for many, many years by diversity. It has changed the very demographic and the very fabric of the place for the worse. If you ask me, it's dangerous in itself, regardless as to whether there's going to be a Christmas market there or not. I do apologise to any Brummies who sub to my channel. I don't mean to sit here and shit on your home city from such a great height. It's just a perception people from outside Birmingham have of your city. And to be quite honest with you, I think it's quite an accurate perception. I've got nothing against Brummies, homegrown Brummies that are born and raised there for generations. Salt of the earth people. But the people that have been invading your city for many years now have brought it down to its knees. Anyway, I was just sat here thinking this afternoon, guys, what was that one incident, that one catalyst that made people start walking around their own country feeling unsafe, doing everyday tasks, going shopping, for example, walking around with built-in anxiety and apprehension that's making you look over your shoulder every 5 minutes in case there's some Torag behind you looking to assault you sexually, maybe, or plunge a knife into your back? What was the catalyst that started making people feel that way? What was the line that was crossed that started making people much more aware of their surroundings? Could it possibly have been the murder of Lee Rigby? I don't know. Was it the grooming gangs in Rotherham and Telford, maybe? Or was it the Manchester Arena bombing? I don't know. For me personally, I think it was 9/11. I know, granted, it was done over the United States, but I think that was the starting point for the whole wave of bullshit that's sweeping across the Western world at this moment. It saw the emergence of Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, the breakaway subsections of ISIS and various Boko Haram and all the rest of them, and infesting the entire rest of the world. People spreading out like roots of a tree, going all over the place, embedding themselves into different countries and attacking from within, etc. I think that was the catalyst, that was the starting point, the World Trade Centers. I'd like to know your opinions, guys. What do you think that one event, that one catalyst was for what we're going through now? Was it 9/11? Was it a singular event, or was it an accumulation of things? I don't know. Please do let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear what you all have to say. But anyway, I can always remember growing up in my house with my mum and dad over Christmas Eve, sitting down watching our telly in front room. I was sat on the floor eating me stocking fillers and whatever, your little chocolates and shit, on our massive Sanyo telly that took about 4 men to move it if you had to move it. We were sat there watching telly on Christmas Eve when telly used to be worth consuming, actually worth your time. BBC used to put entertaining things on. There was always documentaries on Christmas Eve about shopping centres and shopkeepers during Christmas, and people looked so happy to be enjoying the festivities. Kids getting excited and bouncing around the place when they saw Santa's grotto in the middle of a town centre, that kind of a thing. I'm willing to bet it's not like that anymore. I can't speak from personal experience, obviously, because I'm a little bit of a recluse. I don't tend to go out very much. I don't like people, I don't like crowds, I don't like public transport, all that stuff. I'm getting to that cantankerous age now. I'm in my early 40s and I'm starting to get annoyed easily with noise and people and crowds, etc. I do most of my shopping and all the things I need to buy online. I know it's going to mean the death of the high street, and that does upset a lot of people, a lot of the traditionalists in this country. But it's inevitable anyway. The high street has been dying a slow death for about 10, 15, 20 years now. People will not stop shopping online for the simple fact it's convenient, and 9 times out of 10, it's much more cheaper. But when did we become the norm, from what I just suggested to you there about kids bouncing around looking in Santa's grotto, to people walking around with their heads lolling, looking depressed, looking over their shoulders constantly, and needing armed guards around Christmas markets and shopping centres just to feel safe? Because I tell you what, when I used to go out with my mum and dad shopping around Asda and stuff, we didn't need armed police knocking around the place. We didn't need armed police in our shopping centres and our town centres just to feel safe and just to stop some lunatic with something strapped to his chest or a knife in his hand or a machete or a cleaver or anything like that, just to simply stop these type of people. When did we turn from a nice, happy, wholesome country that we used to be to what we are now, racked with fear and anxiety and constantly looking over your shoulder and wondering who's behind you? Never used to be like this, but it is now. I'm thankful I am the way I am, that I don't go out very often, because I couldn't stand it, looking over my shoulder all the time, feeling apprehensive, looking who's next to me on the bus or sat on the bus behind me. God knows what's going through their heads. I mean, it must be so tiring for people who go out and live their daily lives as a normal person instead of a bit of a recluse like me. But anyway, guys, that's basically it. I just wanted to expand a little bit on what I posted, like I say, in my community tab. Please do let me know what you think in the comments. What was that line that was crossed where we started going downhill and started descending into fear and anxiety all the time, just for living our simple lives and doing simple day-to-day tasks? What was it? Was it a catalyst? Was it one singular thing? Or was it an accumulation of things? Do let me know what you think in comments. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks a lot for watching as always, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.